Today at Opus Coffee, we're going to be learning how to make the perfect cold brew. Now, why should you opt for cold brew? Well, for one, it's going to be the most economical way to make a lot of coffee at the same time, perfect for your work week. Also, that slow, delicate brewing process is going to make sure you get a lot of caffeine, more than an iced coffee, and a really smooth taste without those really bitter notes. So, let's get started. First things first, we're gonna need the coffee. The best coffee for cold brews to use is going to be sort of those medium dark roasts that impart a lot of really nice chocolatey cherry notes, but you can use any coffee that you prefer. There's no rules. In this case, for Opus Coffee, we recommend our Misty Mountain blend or our seasonal summer trip blend. As far as the grind goes, you're going to want to make sure that you have a medium coarse grind. Not as coarse as a French press and not as fine as a brewed coffee. So we're looking for something that's going to be a bit like flaky sea salt. Next, we're going to need our vessel. In this case, I have a dedicated cold brew vessel. This is going to include a holder for my grounds that I can just remove and toss when I'm done with the brewing process and continue to pour out of the pitcher throughout the work week. But if you don't have one of these, you can also just use a regular pitcher, like so. We've already started brewing this one, and you can either throw your coffee grounds right in it and filter them later, or in this case, I have a special clip that'll hold a filter bag in so that I just toss that at the end and can pour right out when I'm done. Next, I have cold filtered water. Just get a lot of it ready to go, unless you've got your recipe down, you know exactly how much you need. So I just have a nice full pitcher here. And lastly, we're going to need a scale. This will make sure that our brew ratio is going to be just perfect. For the brewing, we're going to work in a 1:10 ratio. That's going to be 1 part coffee to 10 parts of that cold filtered water. Some people like to just weigh out however much water that they want for their work week and then do the reverse math. For the purpose of this, I know that the amount of coffee I want is going to be about 800 grams, so I'm going to go ahead and pour 800 grams of that filtered water in there. So I'm going to place it on the scale, zero it out, and then pour my cold filtered water until I'm at that 800 mark. I have my 800 grams, and I've also prepared my 80 grams of ground coffee ahead of time. It's a simple matter of just pouring that into my filter. If you're using a pitcher, you can pour it into a paper filter or just right in the container and strain it later. And I screw it into my cup. From here, whether you're using a specialized cold brew container or just a regular pitcher, I like to agitate it a little bit. So I do sort of a tea bag dunking into the water, and then I give it a little shimmy shake. So first, I'm going to get those grounds used to that water. It'll also help the bag settle a little bit. Then I screw it on and I give it a little shake. For containers like this, I like to shake about 10 seconds. You'll see it already looks drinkable by the time that I'm done, but you must wait for the best cold brew possible. All right, there's my agitated grounds. We'll place the cold brew in the fridge, and from there, it's a simple waiting game. We recommend a full 24-hour brew, but you can adjust this to be shorter or longer in 12-hour increments. Like the brew ratio, it's very customizable to your personal preference. Once brewing is complete, ensure you remove your grounds, whether that's emptying the basket, removing the filter bag, or straining it into a separate container using a fine strainer. From there, your cold brew coffee is ready to go and can be kept for up to 7 days for best quality. You can drink it as is, or like I'm doing, add it to a glass of ice and cream for a cold brew latte. And that's all there is to it. Delicious and the perfect day starter.